Attack on Titan has been a fucking bore, dude. Oh my god.
Has
Gold,
it been bad lately?
Gold only likes it because the intro sounds good. That's it. Dude,
Yeah, you're probably not. Yeah, you're probably not
the
wrong
the
with that.
episode will start and it'll be like, "This is what's hype about this episode." I'm like, "Ooh boy!" And then it goes,
Oh
"Rumbling,
god.
rumbling is coming." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And then the episode starts and you're just sitting around talking, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's almost over. I'm gonna fall asleep. This sucks." Then here's One Piece, right?
Yeah.
last last week on One Piece, and then it shows all the people getting
And it
murdered and
shows
all
all
that
the
stuff.
people
Yeah,
getting fucking killed,
yeah. It
and
shows
then it's like new battle,
yeah, yeah. And then the
and then you hear
show
Luffy
starts.
say blah 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 blah.
Yeah, Luffy says what's going to happen this episode, and then you're like, oh, that's what's happening this episode, and then they take you completely different to what the topic of the episode is. You do a subplot for like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's very interesting. As soon as it gets really interesting, it cuts away, and then it goes back to what the premise of the episode is, and that is like 4 minutes of that, then a cutaway, then it goes back to the first thing you're watching for like 2 minutes, then it goes to the main thing for the final part of the episode, and then with a couple cock teaser things in it for next week. It does that every time, and it's so good. It keeps me on the edge of my seats on what's going on in the battlefields and stuff like that right now. But we're in a war, so it's a little unfair to compare Attack on Titan, even though this is the climax of Attack on Titan. This is the finale. We did the last Attack on Titan last
Isn't
year.
Attack on Titan
Dude,
kind of a war as
dude,
well,
dude,
though?
dude, dude, last year it was like this is the final season, and we got like they shitted out like 16 episodes. They were good. I did like that one. That one was really good. It was shit at times, but that one for the most part was hype. But they do this thing where it's like it's crazy the first couple episodes, then it dies down, and then it's crazy for the last second episodes. But this cliffhanger for this one was so, or for this season was so fucking trash. That I was just like, well, I guess we stopped in the middle of the war starting. I guess we'll see what happens in 8 months or whatever. And then it started. Their scrim was kind of cool for like an episode or two, and then they've been talking for 8 episodes straight. We're on episode 10 next week, and we only got two fight
God.
scenes and talking for the whole
Yeah,
thing, dude.
that's fucking lame.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting, but it's
Like,
it, it
you want to
it's
see the fights. You want to see the Titans going.
dude, it's interesting, but I can't say that it isn't completely boring. And then a lot of the character tropes are kind of cliche. We actually got a whole episode of Annie basically saying that she had a father that wasn't her father, that turned out to be her father, right?
My
It sounds
God,
like
it's just
super
an entire
interesting.
Annie episode.
Yeah, yeah, it was a whole Annie episode, and it was basically like she was an orphan, but it was actually her dad, but he was ashamed or whatever. But as interesting as that sounds, the way it's from her perspective, and it's kind of like she goes, "I was, I was alone, and then I was adopted. The only real dad I had was this guy, and then all this guy did was try to train me to be a warrior so that he could make a living himself and live or whatever." And then he turns out how she was. She finally beats him in a fight, and he like laughs, and as she kicks him or whatever. And he's just like, now I'm proud. Now you can become a warrior. And then she tries to become a warrior, and he's just like, I made a mistake. I'm actually your dad. I thought you becoming a warrior would change things. It didn't. Blah blah blah. Don't become like this. But she was so bent out of shape and traumatized as a kid that she's just now that depressing woman that we've seen. And she explained all this to an expedition jump to a character that she abandons in the next episode. So her telling that character all that was basically so that we would know that Annie is trying to protect her father. And when she tells everybody in the campfire episode, which is another whole expedition dump, the other characters are led to believe that they already know about this. So what really should have happened is she should have ditched the first character and expedition dumped onto them at the campfire episode. But what actually happened was they expedition dumped the episode prior, just picked her up, and then we got a recap of everything that's happened in the campfire episode. It was so fucking boring. There was one scene in it where Reiner basically tells them that he's the reason Marco died. Like, he's the one that did it, which is like, that's kind of a shaker right there. But all that really happens is the one character that doesn't even really want to be there punches him a bunch of times and then gets over it by the morning because of the kids. So it was just kind of like whatever. And then that's it. That was the whole. That was the last 2 weeks of episodes. That's all we got.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the episodes before that weren't impressive either. I'm pretty sure. Let's just assume there wasn't another filler one. I think there was. Yeah. So there's two. I think there's two more. We're at 2.5 million, by the way. But there's two more episodes that happened in between. Okay, there's two more episodes that happened in between the last set of action that we got, and it was the rumbling came down, so everybody's reacting to what Aaron said as soon as the thing came down, but it was like the collateral damage that's happening around them because of the rumbling. Because when the rumbling happened, buildings fell down and it like affected a bunch of people, and they're already elaborating on that instead of going into like it in the later portion of the season. So it's kind of like we got a dump on all the characters around them after Aaron went super farm or whatever, and then the episode before that, it was an expedition dump of the Ymir, the founder, and then the episode before that, it was a squabble between brothers. It was kind of hype. We did get a little bit of an action scene, but it was off screen and put at the beginning, the pre-beginning of this episode, which was kind of lame. And then the episode before that was, I think that was when the last set of Titan action actually happened. But it's been like 5 or 6 expedition dump episodes, dude. It's been terrible. And this is why I keep laughing at Gold. Because every time One Piece episode comes out, even the lame one with Chopper, we're still getting like action scenes and stuff is happening. Where in Attack on Titan, nothing is going on, dude. The next episode, the one we get next week, they're going to a harbor, and apparently because it took them so long to become friends, the whole campfire thing, the guys that still follow Aaron and his thing already made a base at the harbor, and they're gonna prevent them from. Clearly, they're gonna defend Aaron's plan and not let them stop him and genocide the world or whatever, because they're trying to talk to him first. So now we get a human versus human spec ops mission as the next one, which sounds hype, but it's broad daylight and it's gonna half of it is gonna be them talking about the plan. Then the plan's gonna execute. Something might go wrong, but more than likely nothing will go wrong, right? Dude, nothing's gonna happen next week. Nothing. Now for One Piece, who is going up against Jinbei? Frankie is striking Saikaki. Sanji is trapped. Black Maria webbed him up. He is stuck. He is in peril right now. Big Mom went up to help out Kaido in the 1v9.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Marco is now fixing the Ice Ion thing where like Queen's basically infecting everybody with a virus, and Marco and Chopper.
I saw a clip of Chopper like covered in ice.
Yeah. Well, fire is the antidote kind of, and the Phoenix Flame and all that is becoming handy. But it's kind of like this. It's kind of like we're at a situation where Queen's just like, if you don't get the antidote, he scares him. He puts doubt on him. He's just like, you really think he's gonna help out everybody? When Chopper's the kind of guy to be like, if you're sick and you need help, I'll make sure you don't die or whatever. Like he'll give medicine to even an enemy. He's just like, I'll make it for everybody because that guy turned on you guys. And then Queen's just like, if you don't get that antidote back, I'll kill you. He's just like, you really believe him? And I'll kill you if you don't do it anyway. Like, but at first he shook him up a little bit. So it's kind of like, you really think the enemy's going to help you? They're raiding us right now. Like, he psychologically got in their head, but it didn't take, like, an expedition dump. He just kind of yelled it. He was just like, Kaido Pirates, get him. If you don't, Like, what do you think? He's gonna give you guys the antidote too? Are you crazy? Like, they're pirates. You're stupid. And then, cause they don't know Chopper, so it's very believable. Like, but a lot of them were like, he said he'd make it for all of us, enemies too. He wouldn't. No. And then Queen's just like, you really think he's actually serious about that? What if he's just buying time so that they get it and then you don't, right? And so it's kind of like the main finale thing, or the main thing that's the focus of the episode is hype as fuck, and then everything setting up around it, like it's Luffy going upstairs and he keeps getting stopped by people, and each one of his Straw Hat Pirates keeps stopping to deal with the threat in front of him so that Luffy can make it to the top. And then I think Marco said he'll take Zoro to the top right through the hole. So Zoro's gonna go up there. Kid's almost up there. Yeah. Yes. So it might even be Marco and the Supernovas.
Marco,
yeah,
Luffy,
and Marco. Yeah.
Zoro and the Supernova.
Yeah. Except Apu. Apu is definitely against them because he tried to fuck with Chopper down there. All right, we got it.